Welcome everybody, this is 10.2 Subtracting Polynomials. So this is just like adding polynomials except we're just subtracting, right? So it's one more step that we're going to do, and we're going to add on to it. So first we must deal with the negative signs because there's a subtraction instead of addition, right? So we're subtracting everything on the right. So we're subtracting 16x squared, subtracting a negative x, and subtracting a 5. So one method that we could use, the easiest one, distributing a negative 1 throughout the second quantity because we're subtracting it. So negative times 16x squared will give us negative 16x squared. Negative times a negative x gives us positive x. Negative times 5 will give us negative 5, right? So distribute negative 1 first, right? Distribute negative 1 first throughout the second quantity, and then we're going to combine like terms. Okay, so same like we did last time, so 21x negative 16x squared, right? 21x squared minus 16x squared be 5x squared, right? You have your x squared. Then you go to your x's, so 15x plus x will give us 16x. And then we keep going, right? 9 and negative 5 will give us positive 4. Right, so we can do this 5x squared plus 16x plus 4. Now last time we've been lining them up, right? So we line up the terms, like terms vertically after distributing negative 1. All right, so we just line up. So these are x squared column, our x column, and these are just numbers here, our number column. Right, so we line them up. So we put the x squareds all in one column, so we can add them together. We get 5x squared. We put all the x's together, add them together, we get 16x. Put all our numbers together, 9 minus 5 is positive 4. Right, and our answer is 3 terms, right? So we got 1, 2, and 3. So this is a trinomial. And a degree, remember your degree is your highest power, right? So our degree is 2 here. So our degree is 2. That's our highest power. That's our degree. Okay, so like number 1 here. So we have a negative, right? So negative. So we can distribute the negative like we have distribute negative 1. So we can distribute negative 1 to 19x. We get negative 19x. Distribute negative 1 to negative 17. We change our sign to positive 17. And then we're going to line them up vertically again. Right, we have our x squared column, our x column, and our numbers here. Right, so x squared, the first one, we can see that, so negative 10x squared goes here. Then we have negative 16x, and then we have a 16, positive 16. Then we go to the next one, negative 19x, so we got a negative 19x. We don't have any x squared, so we don't have to put anything there, right? So this is a blank space. 17 goes in our number column, and we just add it vertically, right? So we got negative 10x squared by itself, so negative 10x squared. Negative 16 and negative 19 added together, you get negative 35, that's our x's. And then 16 plus 17 is 33. So that's our final answer right there. So we line them up vertically by powers, right? X squared, x's, and numbers. It's already going to be in order for us. Remember, we want to put it in order, the highest power first. So our answer here is 3 terms. So that's going to be a trinomial. Our degree, again, highest power, which is 2, right? So degree is 2. Right there. So let's look at number 2. Right, so number 2, we have subtraction again. So we have to distribute this negative 1 first. So we have negative 1 times 19x squared. Just change our signs, right? So negative 19x squared. Negative 1 times 2 will be negative 2. Or we just change our signs. And now we line them up vertically. Right, so we have x squared column, our x, and our numbers. So we start with the first one. 19x squared, put in our x squared column. We have 4x, put that in our x column. Then we have 13, put that in our number column. Perfect. Then we go to our second polynomial. So you have negative 19x squared. Put that in the x squared column. And then we have a negative 2 number. Put that in our number column. We don't have any x's in the second polynomial, so we don't have to put anything. And now we're just going to add them, right? So we add. I mean, vertically, 19x squared minus 19x is 0. Cancels out. 4x just comes down. 13 plus negative 2, or 13 minus 2 is 11, right? Positive 11. So that's our new answer right there. 4x plus 11. And you see, is it monomial, binomial, trinomial? You look at it, it has 1, 2 terms. So if it has 2 terms, binomial. Where 1 term is monomial. 2 terms, binomial. 3 terms, trinomial. So it's a binomial degree. So what's the highest power? So this is x to the first power. So our degree is equal to 1, because that's our highest power. We don't have a squared. We don't have x squared, so it's not 2, right? So degree is 1, because x to the first power. So degree is 1. Okay, let's do number 3. Same thing, we're going to line these up first, but we got to distribute, because it's a negative, right? So distribute the negative 1 there. So negative 1 times 13, negative 13. Negative 1 times 9x squared, negative 9x squared. Negative 1 times negative 14x, positive 14x. So we can see we're just changing our signs, right? Let's distribute by negative 1, just flip all our signs. And now we can line them up vertically. X squared, x, and our numbers. So we start with the first one. Negative 8x squared comes first. Let's put that there. X's, we have positive 9x. And then we have positive 16 as our numbers. And we go to the next one. Start with highest power, negative 9x squared first. Then we have 14x, so that's positive 14x. Then we have our numbers, negative 13. And now we can add them vertically. Right, so negative 8 minus 9, right, that's negative 17 x squared. Then we go to our next one. 9 plus 14 for our x's. So 9 plus 14, positive 23. And that's x's. And then we go to our numbers. 16 minus 13 is 3. So plus 3. And that's our answer right there. So negative 17x squared plus 23x plus 3. All right, so if we line them up vertically, it's a lot easier to keep track of our terms. Then we look, how much terms do we have? 1, 2, 3. So trinomial. Highest power is your degree 2, right? So degree is 2 for this one. Let's do one more. Okay, let's do number 5. Okay, number 5. Same thing, it's a negative, so we distribute it. So negative 1, distribute that, we get negative 9. Negative 1 times 7x squared, we get negative 7x squared. All right, we're just flipping our signs. Then we line them up vertically. So x squared, 4x squared comes first. We don't have an x, so we have a 2, so positive 2 as our number. Then we go here, we get negative 7x squared. We don't have an x, but we have a negative 9 right there. All right, so we don't have any x's, we just leave it blank. Or we can put a 0 there, same thing. Then we add vertically, right? 4 minus 7 is negative 3. X squared, there's no x. And then 2 minus 9 is negative 7. And that's our answer right there. So we have negative 3x squared minus 7. So it's 2 terms, right? 1, 2 is our terms. So it's a binomial of degree 2, because that's our highest power. So 2 is our degree. Yeah, that's it. So only difference between addition, subtraction. First, we distribute the -1, right? Get it there. And then we line them up vertically, x squareds, x's, and numbers. And that's our answer. We just add them vertically, and that's it. We identify how much terms does it have, what's the highest power. We give us binomial degree 2 for this one.